Amit Lakhotia is Vice President Payments at Paytm. He joins us right now from our Delhi studios. Amit, thanks very much for your time. Good morning. Good to have you here. Let me get the one question which, from a stock market perspective, out. Are you listing? Are you going to the secondary market anytime soon?
Not anymore right now. There are no plans so far, sir.
No plans. Okay. All right. Now that we have got that out, let me ask you to explain what Paytm is really. For a lot of our viewers who don't know what Paytm is, what is Paytm and what does it do?
Paytm stands for Pay Through Mobile. We are trying to build a consumer payment option in India, wherever when the consumer transacts, whether he transacts offline, whether he transacts online, he say, I'll pay through Paytm. What we are trying to build is a wallet. The consumer keeps some money with wallet and uses it to transact across. Wherever you think about the money transfers, whether you are paying to an online merchant, whether you are paying money to a friend for the dinner last night, whether you are paying a pocket money to your kid, etc. There are multiple use cases. Wherever the money exchanges hand, that is where we want the people to think about Paytm. We want to make it a trusted and very, very convenient way to pay. We have close to about 80 million users right now on Paytm wallet, and we see close to about 70-75 million transactions a month. In terms of number of users, in terms of number of transactions, I think we are the biggest platform in India.
70 million
transactions. 80 million users.
Sorry, how many million users?
80 million users.
80 million.
Right.
That's 8 crore.
That's 8 crore.
Right. Now these are registered with Paytm, or I mean, this is the total number of people individuals who have ever transacted on Paytm.
So these are the number of people who have registered with Paytm. Most of the people at some point of the time in last 3 years, 4 years would have transacted on Paytm. We see close to about 30-35 million users transacting with us every month.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. What is it that Paytm offers that a bank account doesn't? I mean, I use my bank account and mostly all my transactions, and I guess it's with most people now, transactions are online, right? So you can use your bank account for pretty much most things, pay for most things. Why do you need Paytm?
See, there are multiple reasons, and we have, at a 80 million base, we have figured out there are multiple use cases for multiple people. One of the most important use cases, people don't want to expose their whole bank account on internet. You are not comfortable putting the whole bank account details, etc. on internet. Second thing is, for example, it is one click. One click would mean it is most of the people have now started moving on mobile. 70-80% of the transactions are happening on mobile, and putting your credit card details or bank account details, etc. on mobile is very, very painful. It is very, very time consuming, and that's where Paytm allows one click checkout. Similarly, there are other use cases. For example, if you don't want to give your bank account details to your kid who wants to shop online, he wants to book a movie ticket online on Book My Show, he wants to do his recharges and so on and so forth. So what do? You create a wallet, put the money for him, and then he uses it to transact online. So gradually, we don't see ourselves as a competitor to banks. What we see ourselves as a stepping stone. Most of the people, for example, we have like 400 million debit cards in India, but 95% of them, 98% of them are getting used only for withdrawals. People don't use them for shopping online. People are still not comfortable. It takes time in India to change user habit. Most of the people will readily go walk out of a convenience store, take out the money through ATM, and then give the money to the convenience store rather than swiping the cards there. This is the behavior which we want to change, making money changing hands digitally, reducing cash in the system.
Right. Now, so it's the primary, you're selling the platform primarily security, right? I mean, that's the
security
main
and convenience as well. So for example, I'll give you just an example. You want to transfer money to me. Now, what if you do currently, how do you do it? You'll ask for my bank account details. I'll give you my bank account details. I'll give you my IFSC code. You'll add that in your bank account. It'll take 24 hours to get verified, and then you'll send me the money. Instead, what would you do with Paytm? You'll just ask for my mobile number, which you might already have, and you just transfer the money from your wallet to me. It's less than 5-second kind of a process. So that is something at every step in the transaction. We are trying to reduce the number of steps which are being taken and make it more convenient for the users.
Uh-huh. So is there a security risk here? I mean, just the mobile number, I mean, is it completely protected?
Yeah, it is completely safe. It is completely safe, and looking at the number of transactions which we are handling on daily basis, I think that itself is a testimony out there. So right. I can send you money. I can't withdraw money from you. You still have a username. You still have a password. And then in case of transactions where we think are suspicious transactions, we ask for OTP, and all those checks and balances are there. See, gradually the aim is to reduce cash in the system. A typical user, when he shops for 300, 500, 1,000 rupees, doesn't bother about black or white. He prefers the mode which is more convenient, which is more easy to do. And that is where we think we fit the bill.
Right. Just one thing, when you're transacting through Paytm, right? I mean, if you are buying something online and say, for example, it says, well, pay through internet banking or pay through, I mean, there's an option for Paytm, right?
Right.
If you select Paytm, you still have to enter the username and password.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's right.
Right.
And so another advantage
in terms of convenience, it's not as if, I mean, if you selected the internet, you also have to put you just have to log into your. It could take a similar amount of time with the right broadband speed, right? I mean, it's not vastly different.
What happens is, it is like the cookie thing. We have dropped a cookie which is put in the user computer. The cookie remembers the user. So you might not need to log in every single time. At a multiple number of places, you get auto login kind of a thing. And then there is another advantage with escrow. What is escrow? When you today buy with internet banking, what happens is, then if there in case of a dispute, the merchant doesn't deliver you the good, etc., you are left to fend for yourself between you and the merchant. What we are doing with escrow is, the money is not given immediately to the merchant. The money is there in the escrow, and then the money will be released to the merchant only once the consumer confirms that he has received the goods. This is a massive improvement over anything else. We have seen the similar examples in, for example, West, where people prefers paying through PayPal. In China, where people prefers paying through Alipay, and so on and so forth.
Right. So the money is put in the escrow and it's released after the goods are delivered. That's what you're saying.
That's right.
Right.
So that increases, that builds a lot of confidence in the user base who's transacting, say, online. What happens in this case is, so for example, if you take it, most of the internet sites in India, most of the e-commerce platforms in India, 60-70% of the transactions are cash on delivery. Why are these transactions 60-70% cash on? Pick up any platform, any big platform which you know of. Everywhere transactions, 60-70% transactions are cash on delivery. There are only two reasons for this. The first is either the user doesn't have a credit card, debit card, which is not the case right now. Most of the online users right now, the first set of users who have come online have a credit card, debit card or bank account. But the second case is, the users are still not confident enough whether they are going to go get whatever they have purchased in time, in the same quality, etc., etc. So they are like, okay, give me the good and then I'll pay the price. And what happens is, now we are changing the user behavior, because the users now are able to, users know that the money is not going to pay merchant immediately. It is there in the escrow. For example, on Paytm marketplace, 90% of our orders are prepaid. This is very, very surprising, because 70% of the orders on every other marketplaces or online platforms are COD.
Cash on delivery, fair enough. What percentage of you can use this platform on foreign sites as well? No. In foreign marketplaces as well? Global platform?
So the wallet is a regulated entity, and it allows transactions only happening in India. So there are like close to about 15,000 merchants where you can transact using wallet, which would include, for example, players like Book My Show, Make My Trip, Uber, Taxi for Sure. Almost all top players have integrated wallet with us.
Right, 15,000
online merchants.
Sort of establishments where you can use this, right?
Right. And gradually, what would also happen is, we are also allowing people to walk into offline outlets, put money, and get this money converted into Paytm cash. So finally, the cash is getting converted into a digital currency. What this allows users is, even those users who are not comfortable using their credit card, debit cards online, or even those users who don't even have it, like the number says that half of India doesn't have any kind of a financial instrument. Even those kind of users would be able to shop online.
Is that are you going to do it, or it's already happening? So where is it, if it is?
There are close to about 5,000 outlets where you can walk in and deposit cash, and it will get added into your Paytm account. So for example, you can walk into any of the Axis Bank branches and give money to the teller, and the teller would add the money in your Paytm account. Similarly, there are more integrations going on with a number of offline players. I think by end of July we should be there anywhere between 50 to 75,000 outlets.
Okay. What is the average size of a transaction on Paytm?
So average size of transaction is close to about 300-350 rupees. Typically what we have seen is if the wallet is very suitable instrument for small ticket transactions. Small ticket is less than 2,000 rupees. So people started with recharges, then they moved on to entertainments like Book My Show, etc. Then they moved on to taxi like Uber, Taxi for Sure, etc. And then gradually the ticket sizes are just going up. We think that it's a better way to pay, it's a more convenient way to pay for a small ticket transactions. We still don't think that people are going to write. The wallet is still limited to 10,000 rupees per month for a basic wallet with mobile number as the only KYC, and most of the users, close to about 98-99% of the users still fall in that category.
Okay. How does Paytm make money?
So on every transaction which happens on a merchant platform through Paytm wallet, Paytm takes a cut from the merchant, which varies between 2 to 4%. There is a cost of money coming in through credit card, debit card, net banking, and there is a cost of money, there is a income which gets generated when the transactions happen on a merchant. We take the spread.
Okay, fair enough. So you collect it from the merchant, right?
Right, that's we collect from the merchant. So typically globally also the banking or the payment platforms make money when there are huge number of transactions and GMVs which flows through them. So typically, for example, PayPal processes close to about $200-300 billion of annual payments to make $4-5 billion of money, kind of a thing. So all the payment platforms need some scale out there.
This is a question coming from Vichitra, my colleague. She wants to know whether any deals are likely with players like PayPal, etc., which will allow your customers here to be able to transact on global platforms.
See, as I said, it's a regulated entity. RBI, as per the regulations, it doesn't allow the wallet money to be used on cross-border platforms.
Okay, it does not. Would you, just one thing. What is this? Would you mind disclosing what revenues does Paytm make right now?
See, we are close to about right now on a run rate of about $1.5 billion annual run rate, kind of a thing.
In terms of revenues?
In terms of revenues. GMV, typically the marketplaces or payment platforms are measured today in terms of the GMVs they are getting that are being processed out there. So Paytm processes right now at a run rate of about $1.5 billion.
What are GMV, sorry?
Gross merchandising value, gross transacting value.
Okay, all right. And you said the margins could be about 2% or so.
Yeah, the margins. So it depends. So for example, on payments, the margins are lesser, volumes are higher. In terms of marketplace, the margins are higher, close to about 6 to 10% kind of thing.
6 to 10% on transactions
and 2% on payments. 2% on payments.
2% on payments. And what's the split right now between marketplace and payments for you?
I'll not be able to disclose that.
Okay. But I'm assuming that it's mostly payments right now, right? I mean, in terms of volumes, it should be payments. Should be in favor of payments, at least right now. All right. And 2 to 4%, and 6 to 8 to 10%, these are, we're talking about net margins?
These are gross margins.
After everything?
These are gross margins. See, right now, again, since we are trying to, wallet is a way of changing user habit in terms of payment. The user who was comfortable paying through cash is now comfortable keeping money and transacting digitally. So right now we are more like in an investment phase where we are building the product, we are building the infrastructure, we are building the scale, and we are also building that confidence in the user that it is safe, secure, convenient way of transfers. Finally, one thing which is there is that you can't sell convenience. The user has to experience the convenience, and for getting him to experience the convenience across multiple platforms, change habit, it takes time, effort as well as money. And right now we are more in that investment phase.
Okay. Fair enough. Got that. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you coming in.